This is your election headquarters. Shortly, we'll be taking you live to the residence of John Dramani Mahama, the president-elect. We're expecting that he will be addressing the nation pretty shortly. You remember, he has been called already by the vice president, who had told him, congratulations, you've won. But most importantly, something, he also told him, I am ready to lend you my support, and it's going to be a transition that will help you go through. Stay with me. Masolo Agba is currently joining us from the NDC headquarters, where there is jubilation. There was a huge screen mounted there. They watched Dr. Bawumia deliver his concession speech live, and Maxwell is speaking to some of the supporters. Let's go live and listen. We'll come back to the studio and give you some more context to this major breaking news.
You look at the economy, you look at what is going on. I mean, the country is in shambles. It's in total shambles. And we have waited. Info Analytics, all the external researchers have predicted that he is going to win overwhelmingly. He knows, we know. And whatever we believe has been made manifested today. So we are proud. We are not waiting for the Electoral Commission to come and declare.
No, Electoral Commission.
No. We are done.
You still have to wait for the official.
She will come and do it. That is a formality. We are not interested in it. That is her job. She should come and do it. Once she's done, she should pack herself and leave. Because now we are coming to reset Ghana properly, and we'll reset it for all of us to be happy about it.
You just heard from some of the NDC supporters here. They are saying that the announcement, the official announcements of results by the EC is now a mere formality for them, especially after the NPP presidential candidate Dr. Bawumia considered some minutes ago. Let's speak to more of them. What's your name, sir?
I'm Edmond Amati.
Okay, I'm sure you've been following events here. Tell me, what's the mood like for you?
We thank God. We are all need peace. That's me. Yeah, so I thank God. Election, no problem. Even what it is problem. We thank God. We are full. Yeah. So we thank God. We thank God.
Don't fear.
We just thank God.
Don't fear.
That's
me.
Yeah.
Don't fear. This is the Christmas day.
I see a lot.
Okay. So we've been listening to the National Communications Officer. Although we're still waiting for the official results from the Electoral Commission, the NDC's related results, they tell us that they won with a bigger margin. Did you expect the margin to be that wide?
Oh, it's that wide. We thank God. We thank God.
Let's speak to Fifi Banton. Fifi Banton just arrived here. Former presenter Fifi Banton won the victory of the NDC and John Mahama, whom you support, and also the concession speech by His Excellency Dr. Bawumia.
I think that the concession speech is a sign of magnanimity. He's done well because he signed for the peace pact, and therefore it's important that he concedes. Yes. Because that will bring the tensions down, like he rightly said. And for President Mahama, it tells us that look, hard work pays. He has unfinished business. He's coming back to do that business. And for us, those of us who supported him and followed him all throughout the campaign, we knew what he was made of. Because even in 4 years, we saw what he did. So imagine him after 4 years, what he's going to do well. So we are extremely delighted, but we are humbled by the fact that Ghanaians have again given him the mandate. And you know what? Trust President Mahama. This is his last 4 years, but he will create wonders in this country.
Again,
I'm saying that how should the NDC be taking this victory, also looking or taking into consideration how Herculean the tax ahead is?
Well, we know it's a very deep hole that has been dug for us. We know it's a very deep hole. So sometimes I even tell them that, look, it's a very deep hole. And, we need to do a lot of work. So it is not time for fantasies. It's not time. It's a lot of work ahead. And I'm telling you this without any fear of equivocation, that the president-elect is so ready for the task, and he's experienced enough to know where to plug the holes and how to move. So you know what? Trust him, he will deliver.
They've already scored the country.
Let's continue with Fifi Banton. it. What's your assessment of the process so far? I'm sure you've been monitoring from your base.
What's my
assessment of the process so far?
Well, I think that the tensions came as a result of the skirmishes. You know, first of all, what the military told us was not exactly what was happening. So it was bringing in tensions, and we thought that, look, it was not the best way to go forward. But we were very resolute. We were resolute. What this tells me is that 2020, we did not lose the election. It just tells me clearly we didn't lose. We were not just vigilant. This time we were vigilant enough, and this is what has shown.
And what do you think did the magic for the NDC?
You know what?
What do you think did the magic for the NDC?
We're just waiting for the official results to be declared. But once Dr. Bawumia has conceded, we are done.
So we don't have any. Thank you. We just had media personality, former presenter, Fifi Banton. Let's speak to more people. There's jubilation right here on the street in front of the NDC party headquarters. Hi, sir. What's your name?
My name is Dr. Alasa. Dr. Alasa. Dr. Alasa.
Dr. Alasa. Yeah. What's the mood like for you? What's the mood like for you?
Oh, it's a mood. Very. I'm so happy. My mood, as at now, on a sober reflection, after the Vice President spoke, tensions has come down because we are one people. We were here in this party headquarters 2016 when we lost, NDC lost the elections. We went to the former president's house. He called the pressmen and considered defeat. In 2020, similar thing happened. NDC lost the elections. We didn't do anything, and we move on. So we were expecting this to come earlier. Since yesterday, when we did I'm part of the coalition, when we did the coalition, and the NDC won the election, 56%. We were expecting him to come out and concede defeat, to bring out the tension. We wouldn't have lost these 4 people. These 4 people lost needless life loss. You see? So, if he offers, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that if you had considered defeat earlier, we wouldn't have lost these 4 people. 4 lives lost. It's okay, it's okay.
Spontaneous jubilation right here on the streets. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Alaji Karim.
Alaji?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me, what's the mood like for you?
Okay. You say?
What's the mood like for you right now?
Look, this mood is for every Ghanaian. We are getting another independence. This is independence for Ghana. Every Ghanaian will be free. This government will never be like MPP government. It's for Ghanaians. And Ghanaians are going to enjoy this administration. So my brothers, we are all happy. Every Ghanaian, including the MPP, they are happy. Because
the NPP,
the NPP
think they are happy?
Most of them are happy.
Why are they happy? Why should they be happy?
The Akufo-Addo has hijacked the party. He has hijacked the party. Look, most of the MPPs are in opposition. So, bro, Ghanaians are free. Ghanaians are free and they are free forever. Ghana belongs to Ghanaians. Ghana is not belong to any particular ethnic group. Ghana is for all Ghanaians. So Ghanaians are happy. And everybody is going to enjoy. Look, this administration will not treat people different. They will treat people like Ghanaians.
Thank you. The NDC presidential candidate, John Mahama, actually campaigned on the back of this message as well, that there's going to be a second independence for Ghana, and you had that party supporter echoing that a while ago. Hi, sir, what's your name?
Yeah, my name is Albert Kojo Eboa, aka Carlos from Ododo Diodio.
Okay. Carlos, tell me, what do you make of what is happening?
I mean, it's just a massive. The victory is just massive. It's like a tsunami.
Tsunami?
Yeah, it's like a tsunami. You see, we sweep all the region. It has never, ever happened in the history of our democracy in this country before. This tells you how hungry, how disappointed the Ghanaians are when it comes to Akufo-Addo government, Akufo-Addo Bawumia government. They have disappointed their own supporters and their own people. That is why they were not able to come out and support and vote for them, because they are campaigning on free SHS. As I stand here now, 2 of my children are in school. Every 2 weeks, I have to send 200. So I asked them to come back home and vote against them.
Really?
Yeah, I asked them to come back. I sponsored almost about 20 students.
Well, some people arriving on motorbikes. Right. But wait, your children are beneficiaries of the free senior high school policy. And you're saying that you are...
It's just a name. It's just a name. It's just a name. Free SHS. It's just a name. It's not working. Look, check what John Dramani Mahama is come to do. He's come to explain and tell us what free SHS means. The way free SHS, he will handle it. The way John Mahama will handle the free SHS. What they are doing is just a name. Now that the meaning of free SHS, John Dramani Mahama is coming to show us how it's supposed to be implemented, how it's supposed to be conducted, how it's supposed to move the nation forward. And he's come to continue and do it better and do it well. What they are is just a name. Because check, the rice, the expired rice, every day, I'm telling you, anytime my children will go to school, I have to pay some incentive to the school. So I sponsored 20 of them to come back home and vote against them. I vote against them. My wife gave vote against them.
Sponsored
they are
20,
yes.
20 free SHS beneficiaries.
Their brothers and their mothers all vote against them because what they are is very annoying. They are taking us for a fool. It's like we can't think for ourselves. It's just a name. It's just a name. The thing is not working.
Wait, are you not happy some burden has been taken away from you?
Nothing. My firstborn, when free SHS was not existent, are we not attending schools in this country? My firstborn just finished 2016, and 2016. Do you know how much I pay? Ghana National. Do you know how much I pay? 600.
I'll come to you, sir.
650 Ghana. Yes, 650 Ghana cedis for the whole term. 650. Today, go and ask. Mattress, only one mattress. How much does it cost? And they at the school, they will eat to the extent that the leftover. The residents around will come for the leftover. Today, they don't have food to eat, and you are telling me free SHS. What have they done? It's a shame. Now that John Dramani Mahama is come to do it better and improve it. So we vote against today, we vote against them tomorrow, we vote against them tomorrow next. And we know, we are telling John Dramani Mahama the support that he has, he should not disappoint Ghanaians. And the corruption, as he said, the loot, he should make sure he will recover all the loot. So John Dramani Mahama should make sure the loot and the corruption money, he will just retrieve it and build a monument for Ghanaians to see that the money that I retrieve from this particular person is what I've used to build this very edifice there. The money from Bawumia, this is what it is. For Ghanaian people to have assurance and believe, any person, anybody who show arrogant, any minister from NDC who show arrogant to the good people of this country, the supporters and Ghana people will go and remove them from there. They should make sure they will obey and respect the Ghanaians, because if you dare, they will send you to the abyss. So we are asking John Dramani Mahama and those that he will appoint them as ministers, for them to make sure the confidence that Ghanaians have, the confidence that the Ghanaian has, they should make sure they will fulfill it. No corruption, no arrogance. Sometimes you media men provoke by the specialized patient and make.
Thank you. Thank you. What's your name, sir?
My name is Carlos from Ododio, and I say God bless you.
Okay. Thank you. Hi. I'll talk to you.
To what he was saying.
What's your name?
My name is Joseph Mahama.
Okay.
Yes. In fact, this victory is the victory for all Ghanaians. The victory belongs to all of us. In fact, we went on rescue mission to rescue the nation. Bawumia came to power with Akufo-Addo because of economy. They were saying that NDC government cannot manage the economy. Now, as they came, we have moved from economy to digitization. The problem of this country is about the economy. Free education they were talking about, it started from 2017. For how long will they use free SHS? Are they using the free SHS to govern the country? This is the question I'm asking. Where they have taken Ghana to, we all have to come together. Ghana have won. It's not NDC alone that have won the election. We all together, collectively, we have won the election. We have to focus and make sure that the country become a safe country for all of us. To add to that.
So wait, are you saying that for you, the free SHS did not convince you? Is that what you're saying?
Free SHS is a good policy, but how they implemented it wasn't good. Because
you think they had some challenges implemented?
Yeah, they have some challenges. And if most of the interview they have with school authorities, they said it. They said they have the challenges. The challenges were there. Yeah. And the money that this government have accumulated in the name of free SHS, it could have done something better. You understand? Yeah. But as we are talking, now the free SHS have to review. We have to we are not going to cancel the free SHS. We are going to review the free SHS and put it into order, so that every student that goes to school have this thing. We need the quality of education, not the mass of the education. We want the quality. So this government that coming, NDC government coming now, one advice I'll give to the incoming president, John Dramani Mahama, he has promised the nation. He has promised, not NDC alone, he has promised the nation. Now, it's not for the party alone, it's for the nation. He should make sure that all the promise that he made in our name, he should make sure that he go accordingly and implement it, so that come 2028, we have the ground to campaign.
We're still waiting for the official EC results, but they say uneasy lies the head that wears the crown.
Yeah.
Judging from the overwhelming victory that Ghanaians have given to the NDC now, don't you think it will place a lot of burden on the NDC to deliver to the expectations of the people?
Actually, it's going to be tough. So, as I'm saying, we need all Ghanaians to come on board. MPP, NDC, we are from the same source. We are one people in this country. We need MPP have to come to support us. We are Ghanaians. We should support each other. We should let the past go bypass. We should let the bygone be bygone. Let us live in peace, so that together we can be able to work for this country. Together we can be able to do something better for the nation.
Thank you. Thank you for talking to us. I'll talk to you. So more people are arriving here, and groups. I can see groups of people are arriving here.
Christmas tree no. On s'en va encore na fa na fa sikana mra. Already any Christmas tree no famla. Na airport hono ya ba ho. Airport hono ya ba ho. Blabia to ene. Blabia to. Elevi patent tax. That is better more than 1 billion.
What's
that is patent tax. Bet ngwa more than 1 billion. Me pesa zigano.
And the best one kwa
me pesa zigano. Medi. Investment na young boys here. Onye oti ara na odi atu. Mu mati. Mo tun be ka je say o sika na mo ti ya no mo di ayese. O ba dra ezere. So mi va no mo buru pe wai. O mo le o mo buzu kama ba na o mo di. Ya van cho mo ene, ya van mo ehna. Ene ya akame kwa ka 7th January awa ka kuvoro. Kame kwa ya ka o market jubilee house ene. Ka o market ya beta o na.
A number of people are arriving here with Ghana flags. Hi. Hello.
I lose a word.
What's your name? Your name?
But I thank Almighty God for this victory, and we hope for the best. And we believe in Mahama. He has done it before, and we know he can do it. But he should be able to prosecute these people for us. That is all we want. He should be able to, especially the cathedral. $58 million cannot go scot-free like that. He should do something about it. So we thank everybody. We thank Ghanaians. This is what we want. We want change, and we have gotten it. Thank you very much.
No, so judging from what you're saying, judging from what you're saying, so for you, the Operation Recover All Loots, as promised by John Mahama, convinced you to.
That is all we want. That's all we want. And then the MPP who lost the tax and then what do you call it? The fake police and the soldiers. He has to deal with them. He has to deal with them.
I see a number of people here wearing NDC t-shirts with NDC flags. Why Ghana flag and not the NDC?
It's Ghana that one.
Ghana won.
It's not Ghana that one. That's all we need. With Ghana won. It's Ghana against MPP. This election.
The election was not between NDC and an NPP?
No, it's Ghana against MPP.
Ghana against MPP.
Even the nature is against them. Even the nature is against, everything is against them.
What is against that?
Nature is against them. Everything is against them. Oh yeah. So we thank God. We thank everybody for this victory. God bless you.
Wait. Okay, yeah. You're showing me your finger. You're showing me. Wait. You're showing me your finger with an indelible ink marking on your finger. You look like a first-time voter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've gone to school. How we are suffered in the pre-elections. It's very bad. If go there, we can go for school like 2 months and we come home and sit like for 3 months. How? How you expect us to pass our watch when it get to the distance and they will be saying the apport, and the apport too is not helping. That one is very bad. It's making our studies come down. Now when we go back to school, we don't even get good food to eat. It's very bad. Like we can just eat KK and beans for like 1 week. We get food and eat. KK and pepper. How? How do you expect me to study with this kind of food?
So, are you still in school or you're out of school now?
I'm in school.
You're still in school?
Yeah, right now I'm in year 3. So I pray that when Mahama come to power, inshallah, we'll pass our wasi with good results, with flying colors. I'm hoping that when Mahama come to power, he will make our decision easy for us.
I'm sure whilst you were at school, you probably heard, the talk that if John Mahama, was elected, he was going to cancel the free senior high school policy. No, I'm sure you heard that.
Yeah, I heard that.
And you also heard him correcting that if he's elected, there's no way he's going to cancel the free senior high school.
Yeah.
So what made you still vote for him?
Yeah, I know that when Mahama come to power, we'll enjoy the kind of food that we are eating in school. We won't eat that food again. Sure. And I'm sure for it. And our distance to our teaching too is very bad. Sometimes, like, we come to school, the curriculum is bad. Our studies too is very down. No books, you go to school for like, when we are in year 1, we go for school like 1 year, they did not even give us uniforms. We are wearing our white like that. And white too, if you wear white to school, you have to go, if you go to school and come back, you have to wash it. And that one too is very bad. And me too, Bawumia has made us suffer. My name is Electoral.
Okay. Thanks for talking to us.
My name is Isaka, and this is the victory I'm waiting for. Because, I couldn't pay my hospital bills. Yes, because I was sick for some years, and I couldn't pay because when I go, so I know that there will be a change. I know there will be a change, and the change has come. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy for everybody, every Ghanaian. At least we all wish him best for us to go forward. Yeah.
You were in a hospital, you couldn't pay your bills, you said?
Come again?
You said you were in a hospital, you couldn't pay your bills?
Some of my medications. Okay. Yeah, some of my medications. Even I'm on 7 drugs, and which are very expensive.
It is all.
Yeah, I'm on 7 drugs, which are very expensive, and it takes me like 1,000 cedis plus, not lasting for a month. Yes, so I think we need a change. Okay. Yeah, we need a change. We need a change.
And you think John Mahama is going to mitigate the situation?
Yes. Things are going to be stable.
What really do you think affected the cost of your medication? Do you think it was the depreciation of the cedi against the dollar?
Yeah, also because I started from the COVID time, and then the COVID time, the drugs, the way I'm buying it, it went up. So I couldn't, because some of my drugs are from on the COVID, about 4 of them. Yeah. So assuming, we went up. Okay. So actually we need a change.
What's your name?
I'm Isaka Mustafa.
Isaka Mustafa.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for talking to us. More party supporters are arriving here at the NDC headquarters. Right. Some of them holding their vuvuzelas.
Right. Yes.
Hi, what's your name?
Yeah, my name is Said.
Hey. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And only one. Yeah, I have only one message for John Dramani Mahama. Yes, and we thank God. We thank Almighty Allah that he has won. But the only thing I want to tell John Mahama that he should fulfill his promises. But listen, he should fulfill his promises. You see how the Ashantis vote against MPP. It's the same thing. If he didn't fulfill his promises, we the Muslim communities, the Ashantis, the voter regions will vote against him. 4 years, it's not 20 years. 4 years, it's just around the corner. If he didn't fulfill his promises, we are going to vote against him. Yes, what he has promised, we the Muslims. Yeah, he would do it heartfelt. He would make the economy better. He should do it for us. And second, why I'm working. Second, we don't want any barrier there. We don't want any barrier there. So what I'm just telling Mr. President that he should fulfill his promises. Otherwise, we will vote against him. That's it.
Oh, the celebration will continue here at the NDC headquarters. More people are trooping here. Some of the security men I've been speaking to are expressing fears that they will not be able to control the crowd at some point because more of them are arriving here. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Adjoy Japoma Ansong. I'm a communications team member for the NDC National.
Okay.
Yes, I have come here today to celebrate with my comrades. It's an exciting day. It's an exciting day for us. Me in particular, I've been very emotional about this win, and I can't believe it is finally happening. But first of all, I'd like to say a big thank you to the people of Ghana. I mean, at some point, I began to feel like perhaps the NDC is the only group of people in this fight. We have seen the corruption, the level of corruption that has happened in this country, and it seemed as if it was only the NDC that was concerned about it. Even with our electoral processes, you can attest to the fact that the NDC raised many concerns with it, and nobody seemed to come to our aid. Today, Ghanaians have proven to us that they were with us along the way all this while. They fought with us, they fought by our side. And the most shocking results is those from Ashanti region. I cannot believe that Ashanti came out for the NDC. They have proven to the world, and they have decided forcefully with their votes that they are very discerning people. You see the vote turnout in Greater Accra, it is marvelous. My mind is completely blown away. And with this, I believe that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is going to reward the Ghanaian people by keeping to his promise.
Once again. Now, not long ago, the flag bearer for the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Bawumia, conceded defeat to the NDC flag bearer, former President John Dramani Mahama, and this information that just came in has resulted in a lot of jubilation within the Asomase constituency. Presently, we are in the EC office in Askwari Mampong, and this is where the EC is supposed to make a final declaration of the results from the constituency. As I said earlier, the NDC has already won the results, the election within the constituency. What we are waiting for now is the EC to give out the certified results for the Asomase constituency. As you can see, there are a number of people who are now here within the EC office, excited, and you can see the excitement all over. The vuvuzelas in here have doubled. Everybody bringing in vuvuzela to the Asawase constituency. As you can see, the police is having a very difficult time to control the crowd here. A lot of them are making attempts to jump the fence into the collation center. So it is being tough for the police to control the crowd here, but they've done their best. They've ensured that the people have remained outside the fence. As you can see, they've taken their position and they are doing a very good job preventing people from coming in. A lot of them are excited and they would want to come in, witness the final declaration of Muntaka Mubarak as the Member of Parliament for the Asawase constituency, and also hear the declaration of John Mahama as the winner of the election in the Asawase constituency. As you can see, they're excited and the numbers continue to double. A lot of them slept here last night. They slept rough in here. Gentlemen, yes. Welcome to Joy News.
Welcome.
From yesterday, you were so sure of victory for John Dramani Mahama and Muntaka Mubarak, the concession of defeat by the NPP flag bearer. How is that making you feel now?
Oh, I didn't say Ghana for I don't want to see now. MPP and NDC na yebako, but nipa PI vote maximum because of a committee na amount for PI vote no bebre. Because we share inflation said the 19 said amount for muda school sama yes san in the BB and amount for no omubuofu our PI vote. But ni na say Asawase city ni na obi ani da Asawase su enye ire say obefa Asawase. Ope akofa $10 million befa Asawase a won't me facility because Muntaka was simbo. John Mama sit said the one lead kura yentiminka omude omaya kakra our parliamentary no because of yede amu sika intini bayire ntuma 50 million 20 million the amount pa baku enti maximum say amount for bay vote kakra me so amitira me na me world leader Ashanti region world leader for NDC enti yetina hanu yenda ya adwuma no for mama anya bibia na pe mpese mama ntie se first thing na pese mama ntie se ye bere ni na among for my this can na say want you omu ina ntum ansa na ehun atoy. Thank
you very much. So essentially what he's saying is that he thanked the people of Kumasi and the Asawase constituency for endorsing John Dramani Mahama and Muntaka Mubarak, and also he says that the Asawase constituency is not for sale. The NDC will work to keep the Asawase constituency, and he wants John Mahama to ensure that corrupt officials of the NPP administration are brought to book. Yes. Gentlemen, now and also what the victory of John Mahama no send them out feeling
oh normally manage but the back in say they say because sabi a crime before they get a for fast no 9 years but well they and I make a people for say omu ni every Asawase and before omu every Asawase is no go area.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So what he is essentially saying is that the Asawase belongs to the NDC, and each year they'll try their best to win the Asawase constituency. I would want to get into the crowd, go in there and listen to the people. This is where a number of the NDC supporters within the Asawase constituency are, coming and they are massing up here. As you can already, they have their music bands in there, and immediately the declaration is done, they will ensure that they go out, sing and dance to the tunes that will be played by the gentlemen.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would share an NPP t-shirt because send our excitement in NDC.
The entire me set t-shirt say about one takwa. Nti yetu abane wie no na ye NDC fo so ye hu say ye party na adi nkonim nti ye person ye say MPP atade no na ye mbefra NDC na mfanfra NDC atade no na obi hu say abato anya ntakwa obi di nkonim a obetima be ka no ho na mo aye de na mo jubilate but me ankasa me NDC ni.
So he is an NDC supporter, but he is wearing the NPP t-shirt, and he says that it's to signify unity among the people of Asawase. He wants the NPP people to join them and jubilate together. Gentlemen, welcome to Joy News. How do you feel now?
I'm feeling good. Because of say my brother, president me Okada chairman. Me na me use Praga for zoo wall. Me na me chairman or honum or association chairman. So happy before ba no mo try say adwuma na nya do mai kwama ya to mugu adwuma ya tema me kwa ho kirem. Me so me wo yiri mienu wo kolansia me te Kumasi kurom ha. Tina bra ma bra boy na ya ajeja. Tina me force say kwan bia so part be the power. No to be ya card say Praga na adwuma na ye matwa ya bia ya na ya bia hwam yiri ne me mba. Ntanu ate say ne da mani aja me gina ha. Ya frame Abdul Nasser. Strong man.
So Abdul Nasser says he is an Okada driver or Okada rider, and he voted the NDC to ensure that if the NDC comes, they will ensure that the Okada riding business is given the necessary. They are made to ride and make money for themselves. So there are other excited people here. It's very difficult to hear because of the vuvuzelas that these people keep blowing in here. Gentlemen, say now feel both to defend and then already send this corner John Dramani Mahama awene Muntaka Mubarak and so awene send a boat to defend for Muhusa victory ifa.
Oh, first of all, yeah, the Yankopans so I may say win. The Yankopans say BBM and fast and the expected free Mama. I can't queer Hossi. The expected free more. Yes. Adia MPP Baya or Marcel Mano or no Bano. No, the fats are trending also. You so I be there with me here. But make us an election. Open physical be brave election so be near. The first can we need election. Until Yemfa Akumapa enter the Mohammed.
Right. Thank you very much. So the NDC supporters, as I said, are very excited. As you can see, the music van keeps playing for all of the NDC supporters who continue to gather here to dance and jubilate. I think Martin Abugi in the northern region takes over from me.
Now Coalition Center, where coalition is still ongoing. We are left with about few polling stations, and then the coalition will be over. But already the place is gonna go with jubilation. Now they're for elect for the area. Just walk in at the time the MPP presidential candidate declared or conceded defeat, and so the entire area went brought with jubilation. And the jubilation is still on. His party van that carries instruments that they use for campaign has arrived at the northern school of business. And the jubilation is outside, whilst those who are inside here are also enjoying this. So we are going to speak to some of them to find out, how did you get the information that the NDC had won?
Well, we've been monitoring the results since yesterday. We've not slept. So we knew we were winning from what we were monitoring. We were just waiting for them to concede. And thankfully, Dr. Bawumia came out and told us he had called John. And so we were the winners. And so there's a I just can't express it. I can't express how it's feel, but it's great. It's great.
Yes. What will you be doing tonight or throughout the day with this victory?
Well, sober reflection. We made a lot of promises. We need to think about how to deliver on what we promised. And we must transform Ghana. That is what is key. Winning is just the beginning, but working is what matters.
Winning is just the beginning, but working is what matters. We are still going to speak to some of the supporters here. Says that winning is one thing, but getting on the ground to deliver is what is important. How does it feel?
In fact, we feel so great. We have really worked, and this victory is not any surprise to us in the Tikwalinov constituency. Honorable Speaker has been delivering, and this particular win is a win for Mother Ghana, and it's a win for the good people of Tikwalinov constituency. We are poised for action. the resetting of the Ghana has just kickstarted, and we are marching straight to the Flaster House, and we will do a lot in bringing development to the good people of Tamale North constituency.
Were you part of the MP's campaign team, and what are the promises you gave to the people?
Actually, I'm the constituency secretary for Tamale North constituency. Basically, the promises he gave to the good people of the Tamale North constituency was 1, education, health, agriculture, women and youth empowerment. And again, you are aware of the manifesto of the great NDC. He will do all what he can to bring it to the good people of Tamale North constituency for the betterment of the nation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And they are about to declare the results. Thank you. We are having a center.
We are taking reactions from across the country. If you're just waking up, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has conceded defeat. John Dramani Mahama is the president-elect. I want to go to Rafiq right now, who has some reactions from the Upper West region for us. And we're seeing this all over the country, people just erupting, spontaneous jubilations. Rafiq, we've seen the situation in Accra, we've seen it in the northern region. What's it like in the Upper West region, where the NDC says they have swept that entire part of the country and not even lost one? Tell me.
Yeah, in the Upper West region, you know, the NDC started the 11-11. They want to win all parliamentary seats in the Upper West region and also win the majority vote in the Upper West region. And so clearly means that it did happen in the region. The whole 11 against 11, and that is what has happened in the Upper West region here. And so I am at the West Central constituency of the Upper West region, currently located at the regional library, where Dr. Rashid Hassan Pilipo, the MP for West Central, has been retained as a member of parliament once again. He polled more than 30,000, more than 38,000 of the votes that were cast in the region. And so John Dramani Mahama also polled 50,000 of the votes. So if you look at the last results, the last elections, Dr. Rashid Hassan Pilipo was able to beat Umu by about 6,000 votes. But this time around, he increased the margin to about 2,000. In the case of John Dramani Mahama, it was about 48,000. Now it has moved to 58,000. And so supporters of the NDC are really in ecstatic mood. They are really in ecstatic mood right now. And then also, the West Central parliamentary candidate is now speaking to the press. Now let's listen to him. Right there, Dr. Rashid Hassan Pilipo.
This issue in a more comprehensive manner, working with the my government and creating conditions and value to make sure the people benefit in a maximum way in all the things we want to do. So and I also noticed that the classrooms have been ignored, chairs and tables have been broken down, and all that. I've tried to address many of them, but with power we can do more. Many of the places that are, many of the classes that are torn apart by the bad weather and or an age, you know, have to be addressed. So I'll tackle some key issues which are going to be peculiar to this place, but I'll tackle it also from the generality, which are the promises we made towards Ghanaians.
You'll be listening to Honorable Dr. Rashid Hassan Pilipo is right here. You won by over 38,000. Were you really surprised about the result?
Very surprised. Surprised that I could have done better. I needed to have, my expectation was that we would have a 10,000 difference, you know, over 10,000 difference. Now we got a difference of just close to 9,000. So, but it shows that we estimated rightly. And I can only say I'm grateful for what has happened. And I'm thankful to my people for having this trust in me, being the safe time contestant, and still giving me this margin. I'm very grateful and I'm thankful for that.
I always ask you this question: that is that the last time that we're going to see your name on the ballot paper?
Well, for every politician, you have an objective. My objective may not be to continue to contest parliamentary elections, but you always are drifted towards where Allah has given you, where God has driven you. So I'll depend on the divine wishes of Allah, and I hope that in the end, the definition of where I'm going to go will be very clear.
Have you received any congratulatory message from the Haji Umu Audu, the MPP parliamentary candidate?
I have not received any message from her at all. I only hope that she will still continue to, she will still send me a message of congratulations, as Bawumia has sent that message to our presidential candidate, John Dramani Mahama. Hopefully she will do. Last year she didn't, but I hope this time she will try to do it.
We wish you the best of luck in your next endeavor. So that's the MP for West Central, Dr. Resident and Pelpo.
Okay, and that there is reaction from Rashid Pelpo, and that's what we're doing. There's a lot of reaction to get through for you. Those who won, but those who lost, even more importantly. We've heard from Dr. Bawumia, who was gracious in defeat because of the way he approached it. We would get a bit more reaction from the team, but I want to go to Nuruddin, who is joining us with further reactions from where he is. Nuruddin, where are you joining us from? And I know there is a bit more you can tell us about the reactions you're getting from ordinary people, but also those who won seats there.
Yes, I'm currently at Old Tafo constituency. The EC has just declared the result, the parliamentary results, and from what I have here, the incumbent Vincent Eko has 34,097 votes. The NDC Samuddin Mohammed Kamel has 15,707 votes. Another candidate by name Daniel Kusi Asedu has 221 votes. And then the last candidate, Obiri Yeboah Frank, also got 118 votes. So the EC has declared Vincent, the incumbent MP Vincent, as the winner of this election here in Old Tafo. But if you go behind me, just across the street, many supporters of the NDC are celebrating because they are happy the party has won. One interesting thing is that they're telling me is that they are very surprised that the results has come in and the party has been able to win within 24 hours. That was not what they were expecting. They thought that it would take so many hours for them to be able to know who is going to win. But if you can see, a lot of them are jubilating, they are happy, and they think that their dreams have come true. And so let me just see if I can speak to some few party supporters here who will be sharing their exciting mood with us. So the MP, you can see there, Vincent is driving. I mean, he's the one just leaving because the EC has declared him as a winner and he's leaving. We're trying to speak to him and find out what are the reactions that, or what he's going to say about this particular election that we put in. He's about to leave the coalition center. So let me just speak to some few people here and see what exactly. What do you make of the election today? Your party has won. What do you say about it?
I want to say congratulations to John Dramani Mahama. He has worked for it. He's worked for this victory. And we the supporters, we work for it.
He's joining us. Let's go to the Volta region. Volta region, of course, is a stronghold of the party. Ibiseto G is standing by. If you're looking forward to jubilation, it's the Volta region you possibly need to go to because there they voted in the. I'm still looking for the turnout in the Volta region to see whether it's heavy. It should be. Maybe it's not, but that tells a story in itself, depending on where it sort of falls. Ivy, what's the reaction there?
So that is what some of the supporters here, the NDC supporters, saying, and there's been some quite a little traffic here. And
okay, We'll get Ivy Secretary in. Before we do that, I want to bring in the team again into this conversation. And Mama V, it was you on the floor giving me a reaction to the historical outcome, the historic outcome we've just seen.
You know, we've said that Dr. Bawumia has graciously conceded. We've talked about the timing, but I also want to go back to some of the things that he said, which suggests that he is still in the game. He's not going anywhere. He says, we will not be a disruptive opposition, even though we will subject government actions and policies to strict scrutiny in the interest of Ghana. He goes on to say, we will regroup and come back.
Mama, we'll come to you. We'll fix your microphone pretty shortly, and then we'll return to you. But something.
So what Dr. Bawumia did, that's what gentlemen do. That's what consummate Democrats do. So it's good, and it's healthy for our democracy moving forward. I have an idea that the NDC knew that he was going to do this because we knew that he was about to come out and make the concession. And so the language, the tone of the language that we heard at the NDC's press conference was unwarranted. You have to learn to celebrate in moderation and your use of language as well. I think the tone and the continuous use of insult you heard behind, our liar, you know, these things ought to, you know, come to an end once we are done with this. It's not good to vilify each other in the manner that we have seen in the campaigns.
I know there is a place for reviewing the amount of work ahead of the Mahama administration. It will be Herculean. It will be arduous. I am not so sure whether we understand and appreciate the year 2025 and the impact it will have on this economy for more length. I'm not saying you cannot celebrate this victory. This is not the time to rely on the people you have relied on your entire life. This is the time to put the best of Ghana forward in coming together, in helping fix the country the way you want to reset it. Mahama can go down in history as one of the best presidents that Ghana have had with everything, or add on to the rest of the problems that we have also had. Now, talk about concession. I think it is strange, it is new, and it's setting a new trend that those people who said, oh, well, I know I'm losing, but clearly I'm waiting to whatever and let the chaos continue, will now learn. In subsequent elections, we are expecting that under 24 hours, a decent man will let go. A decent man will say, this is democracy, it's not life or death. I will let go to end the acrimony happening across the country. And again, I also expected him to chip in that his party people who are masked up, who are part of vandalism, should stand down because that is not the democracy we want to practice. Generally, he said he should end it, but I expected him to chip in that maybe that will help. Because they did so because not long ago, the gentleman communications, whatever, director or so of the campaign had said they should go and protect the EC officials and the security officials. Yeah. And they also went there for that purpose. So that would have helped this conversation a whole lot. Never again should we hold a country to ransom merely because we are changing one leader to the other. Yeah. The heat around this election was unnecessary. And we should be clear in our minds that this is just selection of the next set of leaders for the country. And we should also be clear in our mind, our democratic practice is geared towards the development of the country. Everything else is secondary. Yeah. And I believe that, we also discussed how Bawumia lost the election in the future. But there'll be time for it, right? We'll discuss. So yes. So that's just on the concession part. And I think ultimately, as Samson said, it is gentlemanly for him to have done so and graciously. But those who have won, those who are victorious, they should equally be magnanimous in victory.
But you see, he did not only concede. He said that the victory of John Mahama was decisive, that they knew from their own checks that it was decisive. Those words were carefully chosen.
Yeah.
And he said that it doesn't matter whatever the eventual outcome will be, whatever they had will not make an impact. So those words were careful and they were important. For those of them at the celebration who are suggesting that we do not need the EC's declaration, you're wrong. You need the declaration. This, the president, is made by the pronouncement of law. So we need to help the EC to be able to finish the process and then gazette the results before there can be a swearing in on the 7th of January.
And it's something you make a point, and Raymond, you've made a point also. But I think that at this point in time, very early in the day, but I think that if the political parties are able to collate their results in less than 24 hours, maybe we must begin a rethink of our laws where we do constituency collation,
then regional
collation,
yeah,
but as well just collate polling station results. This is an era of digitalization. Get it done, and then we know, because after all, the EC chairperson is a returning officer for the presidential election.
Let's go to a constituency now.
Yes.
Let's go to a constituency now where, again, a historic outcome had played out. And I'm talking about Ayawaso West Wagon. Ayawaso West Wagon. And I want to go to James Aveji. He's standing by at the Nerve Center. That tends to be the Nerve Center, University of Ghana, where they had voted and voted massively. And Raymond, and I think you were both telling me that in all the polling stations in the University of Ghana campus, John Dumelo won it.
Shockingly.
Shockingly, yes. Yes. Let's get Aveji. And Aveji, you standing by with students to give us some reaction. What is it that they've been telling you and why they voted the way they voted?
Well, Evans, if you can hear me, we are here at the University of Ghana, Legon campus, and that victory speech, concession speech by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia actually inspired the crowd here. In fact, earlier, all through yesterday night to this morning, there has been a speaker here at the entrance of the RS Hamegasi Auditorium, where Joy FM, Joy News, your election headquarters, has been loud all through the night till this morning. And so all of the analysis has been happening live here at the RS Hamegasi Auditorium. And just after Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia indicated that he sent a message to the former president congratulating him, the crowd here erupted into cheers and jubilation. Even before the presidential election coalitions could even complete here at the auditorium. As we speak, the coalition process is still ongoing, but the party supporters here will not have any of that as far as the candidate for the NPP has conceded defeat to their candidate, John Dramani Mahama. Let me speak to some of them to get a feeling from they themselves. I mean, how was the feeling when you heard that your candidate is essentially winning the election?
Well, the feeling is as obvious as you can see here. We cannot even express. There is no way to express the feeling. I'm overwhelmingly happy. Not for NDC alone, but for the Ghana at large. Because we have been suppressed for a lot. Myself, I'm a graduate and I know how to for the 8 years. So I'm happy and the feeling is as obvious as you can see.
Amen. Let me speak to you. Did you see this coming?
Yes. I was really expecting it. Because past 8 years now, we've been in this economy. The economy is very hard, especially with the youth. Even if you manage to get one city to stick bets, they will take charges, big charges. The last time I chopped 2,700, they took me almost 2.5 cities, which is very bad. So as you see, J plus J is God blessings. I'm also called J.
You are confident that when the NDC comes into power in January, the bet tax will be scrapped for you?
Yes, of course, 100% assurance. And Mahama has never disappointed me before, and he will never disappoint me. Let's go. Let me take you back. Let me flash you back. When Mahama was in power, he did so many things, but we Ghanaians, because of our hypocrite style, so we didn't notice what he did. But unfortunately, when Akufo-Addo also came, we see. So we compare the two things before we give the vote out.
So for you, it is the betting tax, that the scrapping of the betting tax that determine your vote?
Not that really, but I'm expecting more from JM because Honorable John Dumelo has really helped us in some way. I'll say that we the youth, for instance, we don't have job. Okay. Most of us, we have degrees and stuff, but we still at home. But as Mahama comes, the 24 economy is really going to work on it, and he has done it.
Okay, Evan, so that's the feeling here. Let me get to the women who are also in a mood of celebration. Mommy, congratulations. Did you see this coming?
Yes, we see the victory because the weather has changed. And then you go see. Because I was so west we go, we are hungry. So we work hard.
What's your expectation from the next government?
I'm happy for my government.
So you're just happy for them, that's all?
Yes.
Okay. What do you say? What's the feeling like? Did you see this coming?
See, I'm happy for my God. God has actually done my desire for me. I'm okay. Because of my children, that's why I voted out.
What about them?
I don't care about them.
Thank you. And so, it's a mood of jubilation here at the RS Amigasi Auditorium. Now, the Electoral Commission here at the Ayawasu West Wugon is even yet to complete the presidential coalition here at this constituency. Let me speak to more of them. Come, let's talk. What does this victory mean to you as an individual?
A lot.
Point out a few to us.
My people say we are happy. We are happy for the Mama.
By the way, do you remember any of the policies, any of the promises he has made to the people of Ghana?
Sure. And he will deliver it. He will deliver it final.
Talk to me.
Abosu, many achipa sama ama abosu. Koya di echrache. Ushwe di oko man ma abosu ye bro. Ye bre.
What would his victory change for you?
Mama, why any ma play company juma me ye. Mama to pay no.
Which company are you looking forward to working in?
Rubber company. Yes.
I mean, apart from that, which policy do you remember of John Dramani Mahama?
24 hours economy.
I see.
Plus.
I see. And so he also remembers the 24-hour economy. Talk to me. What does this victory mean to you as an individual?
Oh, we are happy that today we NDC have come back again on power. And we thank Almighty God. Our enemies' thoughts, our opponents' thoughts will come. We are back again. And the reason why we are happy is that JM is come to cancel e-levy for us. And tax, betting tax, and bring us the free education. He wants to continue. JM says he's not going to abolish it. They say he's not going to abolish the free education. He's going to continue and do it better. So we are happy.
What do you expect him to change about the free SHS?
Oh, when this government, they have been doing double track, and I pray that when JA come, he should cancel the double track. He should open the more e-blocks that he has built that he couldn't finish and he left from government. He should come and continue it. Then he should open it so that all of the free HSS students should come together and be going one track, not double track again.
And so Evans, those are some supporters of the NDC here at the Ayawasu West Wugon. I mean, this constituency has been of focus to a lot of us because of the incident that preceded, but apart from a few pockets of chaos that erupted on the University of Ghana campus about some disagreements, as well as the coalition process, which has witnessed about some 4 different issues about introduction of some fake ballot boxes which halted the process for some time. They are happy. A few of them are calling on the government when they come to power to revoke the e-levy as well as the betting tax the government has promised, amongst several promises to revamp or review the free SHS and all of that. I must tell you that when the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the NDC came here late in the night, Honorable Ni Ashimo, he called the election in favor of John Dumelo, as well as the former President John Dramani Mahama. We are nowhere close to the end of coalition here because, as I said earlier, the presidential coalition is even yet to be completed before we transition to the parliamentary coalition. But from what we've heard so far, the supporters are happy. They are convinced that both John Dumelo and the former President John Dramani Mahama has fully turned the Ayawasu West Wogon constituency green, something that has not happened in a long year as far as the parliamentary election is concerned. From the RS Auditorium here in the University of Ghana, my name is James Aveji Evans.
And Winston, you were beginning to appreciate what has happened. Take it all in. I'm not sure I've finally internalized this yet. Is this still beginning to make sense to all of us?
Well, I think it does. We've seen the results, some of the results from the Ashanti region. We've talked about it. And it tells you something. It tells you one thing. I think the NPP itself has realized the need for some soul searching. The NPP realized that they need to, engage in some stock taking, particularly after Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's presidency. The party, if you were to ask the NPP, and you've seen comments on social media, today the NPP would agree with you that they may not have been the party that has been known to Ghanaians over the years. And so this is just a way of not hiding the cracks in the NPP and telling the party leadership that you cannot take the will of the people for granted. And I'm sure, all of us have spoken to some, leading figures in the NPP, and the thing they say is that few people cannot take the whole party for granted and want to be worshipped before somebody can get anything. Well, that is the reality today, and I'm sure that the NPP's soul searching and reform begins today.
And two questions, one each for Samson and then you, Raymond, and then Mavi will take over with a new set of team members who will continue our role in coverage. Samson, you first. What does this mean for Bawumia?
Well,
his political future, he must have passed.
Immediately it's devastating, and he will have to justify, because of the disastrous performance, okay? He will have to justify why he ought to be considered the next time. And it's not going to be easy within the party. Don't forget that Kenya Japan is lurking in there, and there may be new people who will show their face very soon in the party. But I suppose he may be able to make a case for himself on the basis that he didn't lose this election. It was Nana Akufo-Addo who lost this election. It was Ken Ofori-Atta who lost in the election, because the MPP, some of their leaders have begun talking. You heard Eugene Boachientwi. He said they lost this election 2022 when the president did not listen to remove Ken Ofori-Atta, because those were the voices of the people and they refused to listen. And that's what is going to be difficult for them. I would like to say finally that the jubilation, the NDC guys were jubilating on the street, and the commentary or everything we are hearing, they should do what reflects the natural disposition of John Mahama. His natural disposition, as we know, is that he's not someone who is giving to acts of violence. He's not giving to language vitriol. So they should conduct themselves in a manner that reflects his natural disposition.
And Raymond, what does this mean for Akufo-Addo's legacy?
No, I thought you were going to ask me the Bawumia question.
No.
But let me stay on it.
We just have a couple of minutes. What does it mean for Akufo-Addo's legacy?
See, it's been shattered, it's been battered, and it's suffered a massive damage. In the last few weeks, all of the commissioning, all of the purported good things that were being put out there, many had warned. Let's not forget, Akufo-Addo had done some good things like free SHS. But it was also under Akufo-Addo that we had this debt exchange. Some wished it away. People talked about impunity. Some wished it away. People talk about growing corruption. And the worst part of it, it appeared to have had presidential endorsement. They wished it away. Basically, Ghanaians were made to feel in this republic under Akufo-Addo that you were basically third-class citizens and the only people that mattered were the few. Perhaps Bawumia can dissociate himself from this now fully and stand out and now project himself in a different corner. That was always going to be difficult. Of course, and NPP succeeded in making one policy from 2008 straight down to implementation year 2016, and fast forward to 2024, we're still talking about the free senior high school program. That is a good Akufo-Addo legacy, but there are so many blots and negatives that the party should reconnect, restructure. And this is a party that's actually for the businessman. Businesses suffered massively under Akufo-Addo. And yet all of this were wished and thrown under the carpet as if nothing had happened. It reached a point in this republic when you talked about it, you were made to be or think that you didn't know what you were talking about and that there's a lot more goodness happening under him. Maybe this is a reflection time. I know there's going to be a lot of talk around this and all of that. No leader gets 100%. But the expectation is that the MPP will reflect more about that tenure that Akufo-Addo led and perhaps correct some of the things that should never be taken into the future.
And we're going to take a quick changeover. We're going to make a quick changeover now here on your election headquarters. Rolling coverage continues. Mama V will take over with MFR Pau. And, of course, at Studio 997, Kojo Yankson is standing by with our team of experts who will be weighing in. And this is an all-round analysis and reaction to what is unfolding right now, this historic outcome. We have the Vice President, who is the flag bearer of the governing party, conceding defeat and makes John Dramani Mahama the president-elect. Never happened before this quickly. Within 24 hours of the election, we have a concession delivered there. Kojo Yankson, I'm going to come to you now, and let's hear your guess. And the next time you come back here, you have the two ladies taking over. And we'll be joined by a whole host of other analysts who will be helping us pore over what has happened, making sense of it. This smart wall will still be filling up. And my colleague will join us, Kofi Eje will join the ladies with MFR Pau to go through for you, because there are some very interesting parliamentary stories still to come. And some of them we need to make sense of. We'll do that for you here on your Smart Rock. Kojo, I know yourself and your team dying to have a bite at what is unfolding, and we possibly will take the next decade still trying to understand and write about what has happened tonight. This is your opportunity to start telling that story.
Evans, I've got to say that you couldn't have summed it up better. Quite literally, earth-shattering revelations as Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia concedes defeat within 15.5 hours of the closing of polls. I mean, talk about records. And of course, my panelists and I have been talking about this in the background while all the numbers and reports have been coming in from across the country. But let's just focus for a moment on the historic weight of what we have just seen and heard. The incumbent, without the EC even announcing one constituency's results, has conceded defeat. Let's be fair. The Electoral Commission has suddenly become a lot less relevant than we've been used to, haven't they, Prof?
You've said it right. In fact, this event, this 2024 election, has made so many histories, so to speak. Many of them. Okay. And like you said, the concession, that speech that Dr. Bawumia gave in itself was very significant, because he took time to really relate his deep sentiments.
Prof, forgive me, it seems your microphone is malfunctioning. We're going to get someone to come in and fix that for you. But while we're doing that, Clara, I mean, I know you have thoughts on the same issue. What do you think this actually means for the value that we've been placing on the Electoral Commission, the attention we've been putting on the referee in our elections?
let me start by saying, like Prof was saying, this is historic. Not just that he conceded defeat within 24 hours, but the fact that there's not a single certified, nothing from the Electoral Commission, yet he came out to concede defeat. It's one of my proudest moments as a Ghanaian because of the value of this to reducing tensions, to reducing anxieties that could have escalated with the time that is going on. I don't know with respect to the Electoral Commission. Now I'm not even sure he's waiting on the Electoral Commission. I don't know. It's difficult to even put. It's mixed feelings as to what this means for the Electoral Commission, but it also the good point of it for me, or the highlight point for it for me, is the maturity displayed by the politicians involved. That shows that at least the parties themselves, of course, in this day and age, I mean, they are all able to collate their results. They have a fair idea what's going on, and that they would come out even without waiting for the Electoral Commission to make sure that, I mean, tensions are lowered, anxieties are gone. And this, for me, it's one of my proudest moments that I'm still struggling to find the right words to put for it.
Less than half an hour before the Vice President conceded defeat, the NDC held a presser. Sami Jemfi addressed it. Thoughts?
To be honest with you, before the presser, I heard that we were aware that the Vice President was going to give a press conference. When the presser started, I kind of understood where the NDC was coming from, because, of course, there are results that, I mean, voting has ended in polling stations. A lot, pink sheets are everywhere. We haven't heard any. The Electoral Commission had created a certain vacuum that people were beginning to sit on tenterhooks. So I could understand why they came in. Just that towards the end, so I didn't have a problem with his initial press conference, but towards the end, I expected that he would have been a lot more magnanimous. I personally actually expected that with the way tensions were going and the chaos that we're seeing, I didn't think the Vice President was going to sit on it I didn't see that happening. And I thought it would have been more beautiful to have seen both parties showing magnanimity. I am not one to tell people to be moderate in celebrations. When people work for what they have worked for, I believe they are entitled to celebrate it whichever way suits them. Just that I think that it is also a sign of maturity in a democracy to also be able to demonstrate magnanimity to the losing side. So I thought that took a little bit out of what was, for me, proceeding beautifully.
Yeah. Now, while we're waiting for Prof's microphone to be fixed, let's now look at what this means for the future. President Akufo-Addo's term ends with what is starting to look like the worst defeat of any political party in Ghana's Fourth Republic. The worst. It also curtails, or in fact, before it even begins, puts a halt to the hopes of Dr. Bawumia of becoming the next president. What does the NPP's future in opposition look like to you?
For me, it's early days yet. It would depend to a very large extent also on the numbers that they would have in Parliament. And so far, it doesn't look like they are going to have very large numbers in Parliament. I think the MPP probably just has to go back and then sit down and reflect. And then, of course, they would find out where they went wrong, what went wrong, and then regroup. But I don't see that the MPP is going to be silent in opposition. We've seen the MPP in opposition before, since '92, when they didn't even have representation in Parliament. We've seen them when they've had very little representation in Parliament, including just a lone voice. And they were an effective opposition throughout. So in spite of the laws, I expect that the NPP is still going to be a very vibrant opposition. I expect that they would do what they need to do in opposition. So I don't think this is going to affect too much the nature of opposition that they are going to be. Just that in terms of their own internal party politics, there would be a struggle. I'm sure that, of course, other people have ambitions, and then we would see how it goes forward. But I don't see that this is going to make the MPP any less stronger than it has been.
Right, Prof. Bafo-Agyemang-Duah, thank you, yes, for your patience. It looks like we had to swap out some batteries there, but we're glad to have you back. So, look, the question is about the EC. That's what you were dealing with before you had to take a step away. So let's take it back from there. At this point, what's the relevance of the EC? Will anyone turn up to their press conference to find out who they say won?
Actually, if it wasn't for the law that requires the EC to formally pronounce who is the winner and get it gazetted, its relevance would have been ended at this point, because the game is over. Concession speech has been given. Congratulations have been given to the winner. But for our system, the EC still, they have to do a formal pronouncement and then gazette it for it to be formally acceptable into our law books. But I think going forward, it provides some very interesting insights as we go on. If you look at other areas, like in the US, where the media literally follows the elections and make projections and concludes, nobody comes around to say, Trump, you got this much and you got that much before it becomes real. Maybe we are heading towards that. Because truly, for me, by midnight, or at most 2 a.m. this morning, all the principals knew where this election was going. And so they made their decisions. Actually, by 4 a.m., I received a note that the game was over for Bawumia. They knew that. So in that respect, this idea of EC, waiting for EC to make pronouncements, is becoming a little bit irrelevant. So you may have to find new ways of doing this.
Prof, in just 30 seconds, because we have to go, what does this do to the legacy of Nana Akufo-Addo?
Interesting question, because he has been saying somebody has been a serial contestant or something like that. So this being the worst defeat of any political party in this republic, unless something happens in the future to really take this off, it's going to be a legacy of a very bad defeat, leading the party 8 years and leading the party into such a disaster. Of course, when it comes to that, a lot of people may even forget the good things he did in terms of the infrastructure and other things he's done. People may not remember that. But I think this defeat is very decisive. But let me finally say that we should congratulate re-elected President Mahama and his party for a good job. And also, the speech given by Bawumia was quite laudable, and I think we should appreciate that. As for the EC, we are waiting for his formal remarks.
Indeed, that's a perfect way of summing things up. I want to say a big thank you to Professor Bafo-Agyemang-Duah and, of course, Clara Berry Kasati for your enlightening, sparkling conversation. We appreciate you every time you're here. And we appreciate you for staying with us for several hours this morning as history was made right here on your election headquarters. But we're nowhere near done. We're going now to the stronghold, the epicenter of the NPP, which is the Asante region, where Studio 995 has been piping hot news all the way through our coverage of this election. And of course, David and the team are standing by with reactions to what is a historic concession of defeat, literally in less than 16 hours from the closing of polls. David, how is Kumasi waking up to this breaking news?
Well, Kumasi is waking up to this breaking news with a bit of surprise, because we were here up till 3 a.m. last night. Kumasi was a bit buzzing with some energy. And then a few hours, after the vice president and the presidential candidate for the MPP considered defeat, the whole city has gone quiet. The streets are almost empty. There are no people around, only for a few motorbikes that were tooting their horns a while ago in celebration of the victory for the NDC. So that's how Kumasi has been like. At this point in time, I'd like to introduce my co-anchor who has been with me for the past few days. Eugene Osetutu is right here with me, and he is with the Smart War, and he'll be sharing a few figures with us as to what is panning out as the results trickle in from the EC. Also, to help us with some analysis this morning, we have Dr. Amache Boateng. He has been with us since Friday evening. He's with the History and Political Studies Department here at University. We also have Dr. Ali Nyaba, who is also with the same department. He's been with us as well since we began this on election eve. Gentlemen, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dave.
Let me start off with you, Dr. Amache. We woke up this morning hearing that there was going to be a press briefing from the vice president, the presidential candidate for the MPP. It did happen, and he's considered defeat. How did it come to you?
David, actually, a little bit of a surprise. We couldn't take our eyes off the screens. We went home late last night, and yet we're glued to the television.
We went home this morning.
Okay, yeah, early this morning. Look at me. We're glued to the television, and the information, were trickling in. It was not really significant until the NDC came out with their own, data, what they have put together out of the pink sheet. And so one could say that the information they gave us was authoritative. And then they called on Dr. Bawumia to concede defeat. We got to acknowledge that. Then this is, communication boss, lawyer Sami Jemfi, yes. He did make an explicit call on Dr. Bawumia to concede. From that time on, Dr. Bawumia had no option. That is, provided the information that the NDC put out was accurate and authoritative. And indeed it was. So Dr. Bawumia in the first place had no alternative. He was pushed to react to that, especially given the fact that for some reasons the EC is taking a lot of time to deliver. It's taking a lot of time to deliver. We got to somehow appreciate some of the challenges that the EC has been facing. But that notwithstanding, the EC is taking so much time. The tension had to be brought down. Life had to be saved. And so Dr. Bawumia simply couldn't help but, come out and concede. I was sort of slightly taken aback because politics in Africa generally, has its own challenges. And people that lose, even when they know it was free and fair elections that delivered their fate, they have difficulties in, conceding. And the concession politically is most significant. It adds legitimacy to the outcome, to the overall outcome of the elections. And so, yes, it did come as a little bit of a surprise, but it was very good on the part of Dr. Bawumia that he conceded.
Dr. Ali Nyaba, early hours this morning when we spoke to Kenneth JC, who was at the, MPP's Communications Directorate, he described the situation there. It was virtually empty at the time. And we go home, we wake up this morning, and we had this concession by, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Did you see this coming?
I am quite pleasantly surprised, but I think he did the EC a very good face saving. And then he did all Ghanaians a very good thing by reducing anxiety. And he did all Ghanaians a very good thing by ensuring that the anxiety did not lead to more chaos than we've had before. But I must say that I am not too surprised because the MPP, as at last night, per their actions, showed that they knew the outcome of the elections. They had already conceded to some extent by not continuing to communicate like they had planned to do. And I even understand it was difficult to reach most of the stakeholders in this business on phone. Yeah, so it was coming, but how it will come? And it goes to confirm the fact that if the EC was going to be proactive by learning from the past, how are the political parties able to get this far in a very short time? I'm not in any way trying to compare the processes that characterize the two different groups, like how the political parties will come out with a final figure. It's not the same process as the EC, but at least if it's even taking a little longer, it should not go beyond 12 hours, because by 8 p.m., 9 p.m., the two major political parties knew their fate. So, granted, if this is extended by some 7-10 hours after NDC and MPP doing their work and getting to know figures for both parliamentary and then EC should have been able to give us not less than 80 to 90% of the results before daybreak. But they are not able. So it's two things. The first thing is that I am happy about the 10 of events, the Bawumia concession, and I think it's a feather in his own cap. And I am also happy that maybe the EC will take a clue from this, save us further embarrassment and anxiety in the future, and learn different strategies of delivering the results to Ghanaians at a good time than they have done in the past. It looks like this year would have been worse. We would have been running into maybe Wednesday or Thursday if we were waiting for the EC to declare these elections at the pace that they were doing it.
What does that make of the EC right now? Because normally, if, let's say, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia had not conceded, many of us would still be waiting for the EC to be churning out the results, and we'll be doing some analysis and all that. And then we'll be also looking forward to their periodic, addresses and all that. Now, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has, considered defeat. What does that make of the EC's work, going forward now?
Yeah, I think we have heard enough about how they have proven not to be too efficient from the voter register up to this point, and I feel maybe it's about time we should not belabor that point, but rather look into the future, strategize as a country. That we know the EC belongs to Ghana. It is Ghanaians who put up an institution to ensure that we deliver a credible election that will not lead to chaos in the country. So we can plan, re-strategize, and then make sure that the EC works more efficiently than they have done, particularly in this past few years.
All right, Doc, I'll come back to you for a response on that. But let's go to Maxwell Agbagba, who is currently at the residence of the president-elect, John Dramani Mahama. So, Maxwell Agbagba, if you can hear me, tell us what is happening at the residence of the former president and, of course, the president-elect.
Yeah, David, so we're coming to you live from the office of the president-elect, John Dramani Mahama, and a steady stream of supporters have started arriving here since we arrived here about an hour ago, many of them waving the NDC flag, some of them entering this premises, interacting with the people who are gathered here. But information we are picking from a deep throat source is that the president-elect John Mahama is in church. We don't know if he's left church at this point, but we're told that when the NPP presidential candidate called him, he was at church when that call came through. That's information that we have from a deep throat source. But here, a steady stream, like I mentioned, of supporters are arriving here. We've seen some of them on motorbikes, many of them excited about what has happened, some of them carrying miniature elephants. So you can see some of them also standing under this big umbrella here. But this track right here gives you an indication of what is going to happen here later today. So this vehicle pulled up here about 5 minutes ago, and I interacted with the driver, and he said that what you're bringing here to the office of the president-elect is a setup for a stage. And so that is what is in this track. And in no time, they'll be opening the gate for them to get access to the office. A lot of the people here are excited about the news, especially about the NPP presidential candidate calling John Mahama to concede defeat. Let's speak to some of them who are standing under this giant umbrella here. Hello, sir. What's your name?
My name is Senna.
Senna, yes. Tell me, what's the mood like for you?
It's a beautiful day. It's a great day. Very, very happy. Today, at least, we have a new president-elect. And so it's a beautiful day for everyone. I mean, you can see the mood. Everybody is happy. But most importantly, we are... But
it's possible. It's possible. Yeah, man, you know. It is possible. Look here. Possible. Look here. Let me tell you something in Ghana. When we talk about John Mahama, no size. He has made it already. And nobody take it from me, right? It is possible. Mama, it is possible. It is possible. What can make me now?
Continue. That's been the mood here. Yeah. You're making a point.
Yeah, I was making a point that I think most importantly, we've had a very peaceful election. Dr. Bawumia has considered defeat. So that's it for us. We are very happy. Everybody is happy. And if you look around, everybody is very, very peaceful. Everybody is very, very calm. So that's the feeling we're having today. Yeah.
We're still waiting for the official results to know the full scale of the victory that you are celebrating. But already your national communications officer has given an indication of the number of seats that the NDC is likely to win after the declaration of the official results by the Electoral Commissioner. Did you expect that win? Did you expect it to be that big?
The results of the election is just because of how the people felt. Look, we've been talking about this economy, the economy. People have been suffering. So people just express their feeling to the ballot. You know, so we went to vote and we voted our feelings. So we knew it was going to be huge, but we're also excited that there is no qualms, there are no issues anymore. The gap is so huge that there's no debate about who the winner is.
But what are the major issues that drove you to the polling station? What were the major issues that got you up from your bed and say, look, I'm going to the polling station to go and cast my ballot?
One of the things has to do with the exchange rate. You know, Bawumia himself said that if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate would expose you. Look, if you move from $1 to 4 cedi to 17, it's a very, very big deal. Businesses today are struggling. Even if you have a food business, for example, okay, and delivery is more expensive than food. Why? Because of dollar. Like the economy is just sunk down. So it's very, very bad, and people are suffering. We've all been suffering. We've all been suffering. If you want to be true to yourself, you know yourself that pocket's no good. You know, so the economy has been bad, and the NPP has been arrogant about it. They've not been fair to us, they've not been truthful to us, and in all our suffering, all they say is, fix yourself, fix yourself, fix yourself. We fix ourselves by voting for the right person to come and run this economy.
Okay, thank you, Senna. I'll interact with more people. But John Mahama himself, I should say, saw this coming. So I remember yesterday during an interaction with him after he cast his ballot at the Bole DA school, I asked him his expectations, and he said that he's convinced that the NDC is winning this election. Some weeks ago, prior to that interaction at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, during an interaction with some municipal and district imams in the Ashanti region, he stated, he said that he has been in politics for a very long time. He said he contested elections in '96. as a member of parliament for Bolin Bamboy constituency in 96, in 2000, and in 2004. He's contested national elections, as well. And that has given him the ability to know when victory is, is on the horizon. So he was telling the people he was interacting with at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology that he sees NDC's victory on the horizon. And he says that is because of the feeling and the mood of the people anywhere, he visits. And that seems to be what has happened now. Let's speak to this gentleman. Yes, sir. What's your name?
My name is Anthony Adama.
Okay. Anthony, where are you coming from?
I'm coming from Gamashi.
Okay, you came from Gamashi.
Yeah, well, I'm still Labadi.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell me, what's the feeling like for you?
Oh, they have a happy that Mahama has win because of those kind of situation we are in Ghana now. It's very terrible. We are suffering. Especially, Master, when you are hungry, when you say you want to borrow some money from MTN, there's small money you borrow, they will deduct money out of it. If the boys get ready to get some money where they do some vote, where they bet, when you chop money to the government, Akufo-Addo government will deduct money, they will share the money with you. Those kind of tasks and those things that happen in this country, Master, we cannot. That's why we vote massive to John Mahama to come and save Ghana, to come and save the youth.
What are the main issues that got you to move to your polling station to cast your ballot?
Oh, because of the situation in Ghana, the situation we are. That be why I fall. Even yesterday, I took my car, I picked people to go and vote against Mahama. To vote against Bawumia, and so that we can get a more majority in parliament too. So God so good we get it. So we are so happy that we get the massive vote for John Dramani Mahama. We know that he can do it. Mama can do it. Mama he know how to do it. He will do it too. We believe Mama to do it. He will do it. Mama will do it for us. He will save Ghana. So Ghana will be in a glory in our future. Thank you.
So like I stated, more people are arriving here, and it looks like the jubilation is going to continue deep into the night. In fact, it has not even started from the information that I'm getting from the people here. Like I mentioned, this truck just pulled up here. It will be entering the premises, and you can expect that this is going to go deep into the night. But we're going to be here and be bringing you up to the minute updates on what exactly is happening here at John Mahama's office. We'll be at his residence, and we'll be at the NDC party headquarters as well. Nanaya Ojima is on from Kumasi. So over to you, Nanaya Ojima.
To begin, not long ago we were within the Asumase constituency where the collated results were yet to be declared. A lot of the people we met there are now making their way here. Some of them have already finished collating results in their constituencies, and after the collation, they are making their way here for the party. To begin, though there is no official communication from the NDC as to what will be happening here, a lot of the people continue to come in with the expectation that there may be a setup for a party within the regional office of the NDC. As you can see, the main object of the excitement here are the vuvuzelas. Almost everybody walks in with a vuvuzela, and they keep sounding it loud into our ears. Everybody is excited. Let's talk to some of the NDC people who are in here, who are excited about the development. Gentlemen, not long ago, the Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, conceded defeat to the NDC's flag bearer. How do you feel about it, and why are people gathering here?
For us, we are very grateful to God, first of all, grateful to all workers of the party, the leadership, the national, regional, constituency executives of the party, and all volunteers, all constituency executives, branch executives, anyone who has contributed to this victory for the NDC. We say and we are very grateful, and and we give all great thanks to God. For the defeat of Bawumia and the concession statement, we expected this. The NDC, we knew we would win this election, and we worked hard for it. And we thank Ghanaians for the massive support they have shown in us. However, we do understand that this is a test Ghanaians have put us to, and we will not fail, we will prosper, and we shall reset Ghana, and we shall prosper as a people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At the moment, we understand that Reverend Owusu Bempah, who predicted a victory for John Mahama, is speaking on John Mahama's victory. So we'll go back to Accra and pick the feed live from Reverend Owusu Bempah's church.
Important process. And so it is God who chooses leaders.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
I don't see many say. And I'm so young.
Now, so do not think that, you know, we did what we wanted to do and chose anybody we wanted to choose. No. It is because God wanted that person. That is the reason you also desired that person and your desire counted.
In Chambia, I am and it's on my good leadership.
Now, usually, what evil spirits do not want to happen is for a nation or a people to have good leadership. A man or a leader who has the fear of God in him. A leader who loves the people and is humble. And so the person whose heart pleases God, the person who's got compassion, they are the kinds of people that God vests the authority and the power of leadership upon, or vest in. God vests in them power of leadership. And so when God lifts up his eyes onto the earth, and he sees his love for mankind, and he hearkens the cry, the prayer and the cry of the people. He uses his prophets to tell the people who the will of God has chosen to lead them. And so we do not just choose leaders.
We are prophets, and now we are man of God. Now one can sound the one journey.
Now you cannot call yourself a prophet and tell the people who God has chosen by your own mental calculations.
And
so God intends to introduce something in this end time.
Because a young person, I said, the Kobe, any Kofobi, and a person who choose leadership, and I leaders, assassin.
Now it seems that there is a handful of people that belong to a certain society, and it seems that they are the ones who seem to placing themselves to be choosing leaders for the nations of this world.
Wrong leadership or man corrupt.
So that by virtue of wrong leadership, the nation will become corrupt. And that the nation will become an abomination before God and will incur the wrath of the Lord.
And on your G4, maybe you are not okay.
I told you are a prophet. Don't just speak.
Men have any emotion and declare that says wrong. Do not then choose leader. How will you choose to? Do not
be guided or tossed about by your own emotions or will to choose a leader purportedly chosen by God but guided by your emotions for the people. No.
Is now gaining momentum here within the NDC head office in the Ashanti region. A lot more people continue to arrive after the collation of the results in their constituencies. A lot of them come with their vuvuzelas, and it looks like the vuvuzela is becoming the main object of the excitement here. All of them coming with one in their hands, and they continue to blow it into the ears of everybody here. Let's get interactive with a lot of these NDC supporters in here. Gentlemen, welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Now, I saw you ride in here, and you've been displaying with your motorbike.
Yes.
Too much excitement, I guess.
Yes.
Your reason is that I didn't know when you had this.
You smart.
All right.
I'm far better. Wallahi, I'm here. Yeah, catch us and go and this for me. Wallahi, we are too much. Mama na kasa we don't know what come.
Mahama buy no oya campaign no kika name we bra boa mabunu ne ade didn't pa na ma wo gitum say obedi Mahama echi.
Mama na kasa no oya be bla pani. Osaya makoma sa de. Ode say oya makoma sa de ntinu say MPP before the omoya na enye ntinu ye gidi say Mahama ba obeboa ye.
E dey MPP ye ya enye.
MPP before omoya no be bra akwati omai we mu enkoyie ntino ye pese Mahama mbra na Mahama me shishe no mo yere enfama.
Okay, so according to him, the NPP didn't govern the country as expected, so they believe that with Mahama in the seat as the driver for this country, he'll be able to manage things to inure to their benefit as young people. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you very much.
I saw you drive in here, and you continue blowing your horn as you drove in. How is the excitement like?
Oh, as you can see, it's overwhelming. This is a big win for Ghana. This is a big win for the Ashantis, and we've proven to the world that the NDC is the only party that can rescue Ghana from this hardship. I flew in from London to help, and we've done it. This is the best time Ghana. This is the second independence to Ghana, and I think, as you can see, I'm even speechless. I don't have much more to say. So please, let's allow our brothers to celebrate. All I'm hoping is we celebrate in peace. We should sustain the peace. That's most important. And then, the rest is for Ghana. Thank you. This is a big win for Ghana. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Many party executives continue to drive in here in the NDC headquarters in the Ashanti region. They are all coming in to join the party that is about starting. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you, my brother.
You are very excited about John Mahama's victory.
You know, today I am happy. The policy Mahama bring, I love it. We got 24-hour economy. I have 2 children in Europe. Because of 24-hour economy. Once Africa, ya kechire. To say I'm for hard work. I'm for share your policy ma. Because ultimately, ajuma bebre, ya wansasi bebre rawo. Uti a factory ni bi ombeti ma bi a factory. Through omu bi a factory. Ntos, yetimi don ntos. Ema ni ye. Ha bis, yetimi di bis fani ni ma bebre. Wahu, any hard work. It's a 24-hour economy nearby. Ebe boy youth. Me baba ko catch them say, onda otuka kesiye. Owie ka kesiye na osakolodu. Ochukwa lonjere no ba osakolodu. Oye 3 shifts. Onya sika ema ne sume so ama osho me manti. Mama 24-hour policy ni there. From youth. That will help the youth.
has hope in the 24-hour economy, and he believes that that is a turning point for the country. Excitement all over. Why are you this excited? Because I know that you followed the John Mahama campaign to date.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. There was this member of parliament, and then he later became a flag bearer aspirant for the MPP. He said something that change needs Ghanaians. It is not Ghana who needs change, but change needs Ghanaians. That is exactly what has happened. And who said that? Kennedy, Japan. We all know. The kind of exuberance, this atmosphere now tells you that, in fact, Ghanaians are so much elated because of the 24 economic policy, the national apprenticeship program, the no fee stress. In fact, my brother, I am so speechless.
Thank you.
I am so speechless, my brother. I don't know what to say again.
Thank you very much. So this is the headquarters of the NDC in the Ashanti region, and the excitement is everywhere. David Akwete is in Studio 995 here in Kumasi, and he will take over from me.
Nane Ojima, thanks very much. And that was Nane Ojima, who is at the regional office of the NDC. And you could see the excitement on the faces and, of course, in the voices of the supporters of the NDC for their, victory. Now, Dr. Ali Nyaba, how magnanimous should they be in celebrating this victory? Because if you listen to Nane Ojima, he said there was a gentleman who was on a motorbike displaying, and of course I've seen a few of them because we are, transmitting live from Studio 995 Kumasi, which of course is on the rooftop of Love 93.5. And so from where we are seated, we can see them, a few of them on our streets. How should they celebrate this victory?
Yes, I think it's another aspect of our democracy that has usually led to casualties, and it's very difficult to advise people on how far they can go with celebrations, but I think it is not a thing that we should do to the point where we find casualties. Celebration and then people get injured as a result, I think it doesn't make sense. Having said this, I am happy with what some of the supporters have already begun to say, even in victory celebrations. They are reiterating the policies. What it means is that there is more work to be done than just the celebration. So I am sure they are very conscious of the fact that it's a challenge. Ghanaians wanted a change, not for the sake of it. If Ghanaians decided to vote massively for a change, there is a reason. And while we celebrate and reminisce about some of the things we promised Ghana, I'm sure they will not go too far with these celebrations. This is just a moment. The declaration or the concession was done very, a while ago, was done a while ago. That's a very short time ago. So it's difficult to say between that moment and now, celebrations should end. But they should be very magnanimous with their celebration, as you were trying to say, and rather reminisce about the challenges ahead, because it's a huge responsibility that has been given to the NDC as a party and President Mahama as the next president, especially when he has just 4 years. That's a huge challenge. There is no time to waste to celebrate. There is time to sit down, use the period before the transition to reminisce about the strategies that you can put in place, and then take off in a manner that Ghanaians will not regret for asking for the change.
When we return, we'll talk about this as to how much work is on hand for the next government. But before we go, Dr. Machi, this victory for the NDC, is it as a result of hard work they did in terms of the campaign period, or something that the MPP did wrong? Do this for me in a minute or two.
Dave, actually, roughly 2 years ago, I told myself that MPP was going to leave office. And I recall on one occasion saying that even if angels came to run the economy, you couldn't change anything so significantly. So the very first my first response is that the ground was prepared by the MPP themselves. They were just not ready to lead. And so President Mahama also came in and demonstrated that he's ready. He's going to sit at home. He's learned some lessons. He's got some experience that could be brought to bear to help, if you like, alleviate the suffering of Ghanaians. So I think the two went hand in hand.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Amachi. Thank you very much, Dr. Ali. We're now cross over to Mamavi, who is in the studios 997, to take over from us. When we return, we'll delve more into these things. Now, Mamavi, over to you.
Thank you, David, from Studio 995 in Kumasi. This is the Joy News Studio, and this is your election headquarters. Big news today with Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, who is Vice President and presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, conceding defeat in this 2024 presidential elections. MFA is here with me. We've got Kofi J also on our smart wall. MFA, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I thought this was going to be a long day.
Yeah, it looks like this election has given us a lot of... Oh, it's still morning.
It is morning.
Okay.
So you see...
And it looks like the election has given us a lot of firsts. It's the first time we're getting a president-elect under 24 hours after the election. It's the first time the EC is almost becoming redundant. The first time we've had a concession speech after less than 24 hours after an election. And the very first time we are getting a first female vice president of the Republic. Also, it does appear that this is also one of the first elections that we are getting inherently blue seats turning green. And not just green, but dark green. And this is a lot of first for this particular 2024 elections.
Right.
And I can't wait for Kofi J to take us to the smart wall to give us all that we know. So it looks like the last time you were here, you had 57 seats, right?
Yes.
Now how many seats?
We've got about 60 now. And if you're watching on television, we're projecting what has been declared at the collation centers. So Kofi, take us through what we have.
Well, I mean, the smart wall, this is the parliamentary map, and this is how it is filling up gradually. And as you can see, you have more greens than blues. And where we see most of the blues is actually in the NPP stronghold, which is the Ashanti region. 60 so far, but what you realize is that that is also scattered across the length and breadth of the country. That makes this green wave very national, not concentrated at one point like we saw in 2020. So you see in the Volta region, for instance, is filling up almost everywhere in green. In the Western region, which has remained, swing, and the blue weather constituency, region, even after the division, or carving out the north, the Western North from that place, has still remained a swing region, and this time around has remained bellwether as well. Let's go to the Western region, and I think that tells an important and interesting story. Places like the most urban part of Western region, for instance, if you go to Sekondi, we all know the story that has happened where there is a green flipping, where we've seen Ejapamesa, who is currently the tourism minister, right? He has actually lost trailing with 43.2% to Blay. Blay. He won with 56.8, and that's very massive. If you do the math, you could see huge difference between what Ejapamesa got versus what Blay actually got.
I think this is an area that Mamavi is very, very interested in. And don't give it all away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stay in the Western region.
I'll stay there.
And then I'm sure we're also interested in Domi Kwabenya.
Yes,
we're interested in Ablekuma West. We are interested in all the areas that have turned green that was previously blue. But this is just preliminary. So Kofi, hold your horses and let's head to Studio 997 and join the next MFA. MFA Akosia Adeti, also on standby with her guests at Studio 997. Let's cross the street quickly and come back.
Hi, MFR. Thank you so much. And thank you, Mama V, for passing over the baton to me. So today, there's so much, a lot of first, as you have said earlier. And I'm joined by Professor Abena Enimwaye Boabenin, and she's a senior lecturer at the University of Ghana's Department of Communication. Prof, so before we even came on, you were just screaming on top of your lungs that it's the first time Ghana will ever have a vice president. But let's have, I know that makes you really excited. But let's have your initial reaction. We're going to go back to my colleagues on Joy News, but let's have your initial reactions as to your expectations. Is this how you thought this year's elections was going to go?
Thank you, MFA. I told you earlier, I'm not sure I could predict that this was going to happen. In my mind, anything was possible. It could go to either of the two parties. So I can't say that I could definitely say that NDC was going to win or that NPP was going to win with such clarity, I would say.
Okay, Prof, I'll come back to you, but I'm going to go back to MFI. And MFI, I'm just going to fix that technical challenge with Prof's mic, but let me come back to you. And if you're wondering what Prof is trying to say, Prof is just expressing her excitement about how we're going to be having for the first time the first female vice president in Ghana here. And when we come back and we solve that problem, we'll have that conversation. She's telling us about her expectations and that she didn't have any expectations at all. But we definitely will get her highlights of this year's election. Of course, Ghana is really turning green. I'm back to you, MFI and Mama V.
You have a first time, a former president coming back.
Exactly. It's a big comeback for...
American situation.
Or the same American situation.
Exactly, yes.
They had a vice president, female vice president in 2020. We've replicated the same thing in 2024. They brought in a former president. We've done same. So we are most likely like election twins, you know.
Yeah, but there are reactions that have been coming in that you've been talking about.
Yes. So unexpectedly, I guess for most people, we saw the presidential candidate of the NPP address the nation and concede defeat. We've had a response rather very quickly also coming from the president-elect, former President John Mahama. And he posted this on, this is his official X page, where he says, I have this morning received a congratulatory call from my brother, Dr. M. Bawumia, following my emphatic victory in Saturday's election. Thank you, Ghana. We've also had an election, a reaction from the Peace Council. Remember, they were in charge of that peace pact that the candidate signed before the polls. And they have this in the statement that the Peace Council has witnessed the concession speech by the Vice President, His Excellency Mahamudu Bawumia. We commend His Excellency Bawumia for respecting his commitment to the 4th Presidential Elections Peace Pact. This action has enhanced Ghana's democratic processes and made our country proud. We congratulate His Excellency John Mahama for his social media acceptance of the concession by the Vice President. As we await the official declaration of result by the Electoral Commission, the NPC encourages all parties and their supporters to remain calm to keep the peace of the country. Some persons have been asking, because when the Vice President conceded, we didn't see his running mate, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. So people have been asking.
So I think we need to check on him. Whether he's still in the Ashanti region and why he wasn't here to be part of that concession speech. We've been hearing from Harriet Thompson also, the UK High Commissioner to Ghana, and she's also been tweeting. They said it's now what? How do you call it now?
X.
Okay.
Former Twitter.
Oh, yeah. So he says, congrats to JDM on your victory. Looking forward to continuing the excellent partnership under your leadership. I pay tribute to M. Bawumia for conceding so gracefully before official results are declared, putting country above party. Ghana's democracy has won again. That's Harriet Thompson. And of course, that speech is generating a lot of talk. And for me, he's earned a lot of admiration from me, and my respect for that eased a lot of tension in the country. Should we go to the smart wall now?
Yes, we should. But another person that a lot of people are looking forward to hearing from is the President of the Republic.
Yeah.
The President, President Akufo-Addo, has not said anything yet. At least we haven't spotted anything on his social media pages, or we have not also heard
right
from
now.
Please do. So let's go to Kofi now. Kofi.
Well, this is how the parliamentary map has been looking like. Let me straighten it so we can see. Well, we were in the western region, and that's where I was saying that, I mean, if you look at places that have turned, this is actually Ashanti region. And this is where majority of the blues that we are seeing in this year's election are actually concentrated. Looking at the urban side of the Ashanti region and the inner part of the region turning very blue. But we still have the, Ahafua Southeast, voting green in this year's election. This was one of the constituencies that was blue in the 2020 election. Let's try and understand, the trends in this Ahafua Southeast. If you look at what we've seen so far, historically, this is a blue belt, and you can see that NDC has no chance since 2012. I mean, 2020, you can see MPP winning everything from that 52.5 in 2012, increasing to 56.5, dipped by some 1 percentage point in 2020. Now we are seeing the NDC that has never been in this picture turning or flipping the Ahafua Southeast constituency for the first time in the 2020 election. One other place that we need to also look at is, let me clear this and exactly. Now let's bring it down. Oh, I think my smart wall is, all right, that's cleared. So we can go to the Kumewu. Let's look at Kumewu. And why is Kumewu interesting? We all saw a by-election before the main election. So it is important to see how lawyer Ernest Enim actually fared in this year's election. He had 76.2%. But hold on, let's look at the historical performance in Kumewu and ask ourselves, has he dropped or has he gained in terms of the votes? Let's go and do some trends. And in fact, let me click it. This is Kumewu for you, and you can see it's typically blue in almost every election since 1996.
And it does appear there's a dip there.
There's a dip.
Because it was 80.7% for presidential.
That's
and 51. So in fact, it's actually increased.
Huge.
So 51.1%. That's before
this
the by-election.
This is actually parliamentary. This is parliamentary and this is presidential.
Yes.
So let's.
And there's 51.1%, and this time he got 76.2%.
That's massive improvement.
Yes.
I mean, almost around the same percentage they got somewhere 2004 and 2016. So that tells you that the MPP actually improved in Kumewu.
And we've also been talking about low turnout, but check this one out, 72.0%.
Well, we've always said that this year's election was going to be based on propensity to vote, and we did the math. We realized that Ashanti region, if you look at the top 10, was part of the regions with the highest propensity to vote. Northern region was one of them, but it looks like this year's election, we are possibly going to see a very low turnout for the Ashanti region. There are so many reasons why maybe the region didn't go out to vote, being the main, stronghold of the main political party or the MPP. But it didn't just affect the presidential results. We are also seeing the same affecting parliamentary results as well. He having some 28,187 votes. I'm sure that if you look at it on a different, election year, it could be more. Just that on percentage levels, you can see significant improvement. But maybe in actual terms, it is actually, coming down in the Ashanti region, constituencies like the Kumewu.
So that's why the question of the role that the running mate has played in this particular election, especially in the Ashanti region, comes up rather very strongly.
It's important, to test the strength of your running mate. And the reason why they chose him was because he comes from that same place. And during his unveiling, we all saw, the commentary around the fact that he's a royal boy. This is somebody who's going to help the party, galvanize the base going into this year's election. But this year's election was, it moved beyond galvanizing your base to how are the people feeling in terms of economic-wise. We've seen in the U.S. election, the issue around economy was #1. And in Ghana, it's also #1. And when you have such issues popping up as #1 issue, that tells you that it has become very national. Nationwide, people are concerned about the status of the Ghanaian economy. And in fact, if we drill down to understand why we are seeing some of these drops and some of these performances, especially in the Ashanti region. Let's focus on the Ashanti region. Why? The Ashanti region is a hub for informal trade. So definitely they do a lot of importation. They depend a lot on the stability of the city. So if you are looking at any region that has actually suffered as a result of the exchange rate fluctuations we've had since the end of COVID, you can't take out the Ashanti region. And most of the constituencies that give the NPP big numbers are the urban part of the Ashanti region, and they are traders. And if you put your ears on the ground, they were really furious when they saw the commissioning spree in the Greater Accra region.
Yeah,
they felt, I mean, they have been neglected, and I mean, days to the election, you are glorifying another region when I am your stronghold. These are some of the reasons why people feel that, I mean, they are resulted to the low turnout or propensity to vote in the Ashanti region and its constituencies as well.
Well, we are yet to fill the whole map as we go along. We know that we just have 60, but at least we are waiting for Aswasi, for instance, the island communities. We're also hearing about Ejura, Dumase, turning green, for instance. We are hearing that it does look like the NDC is making a lot of inroads in the Ashanti region, because we just talked about one region, one constituency like that has just turned green, that it was not green.
That's Ahafo North
South. And we are hearing about Ejura, Dumase. We are hearing about Asokwa. Yes. Katie Hammond's constituency, Danswa Sokwa also. But we are yet to fill all that. So I'm sure that you will go to another region, or if you're done with the Ashanti region, or you want to still stay on the Ashanti region. Then
but I think that we need to look at this area of the Ashanti region that has always been the problem.
Okay.
It actually shares border with the other part of the, let's say, the Bono Eastern part. And we know that that part has been relatively blue, even if you segregate the constituencies that form the Bono East. And people are saying that if you look at the Ashanti region, the demographics of the region, looking at their population, this is the part has a lot of settlers. And they make, I mean, they are not your original blue state. So for the NDC to be winning in certain areas like this, sometimes, I mean, we have Ejura, Dumase and other places, you know, the NDC winning. But it is so unusual for the NDC to win in a place like Ahafo.
And then Adansia Sokwa, even
exactly. The name is Ahafo. That means that it shares border with the Ahafo region. And you've seen how Ahafo, even though it didn't exist in 2016, 2012, when you put together the constituencies that make up that region, you will see that Ahafo has remained loyal to the NPP. So for Ahafo Southeast to vote NDC, that tells you that a lot has actually gone wrong, maybe in the Ashanti.
But that's Kofi Fomina. I'm interested in Fomina.
I am as well. I just wanted to draw your attention to the fact that even though it's been, there's been a gap with Ahafo, that gap has been narrowing if you look at the trends.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, let's go to Fomina and see, I mean, but it's an important point that Mama V made, that the gap has been narrowing, and so it felt like it was coming, right?
Yes.
I mean, so it's not a surprise that we are seeing that place turning green in this year's election. But so this is MFF's favorite. I mean,
this is the quiet.
The quiet. Let's go to its cousin, Fomina.
A former independent, MPP becomes independent, and then back to NPP.
I mean, we have said that going into this year's election, one other indicator that was going to affect the MPP badly in the Ashanti region was the sheer number of independent candidates, not just on the presidential side, but also on the parliamentary side. It was the region with the highest number of independent candidates. Thankfully, they didn't have him going independent this time around. He won, but let's look at the trend so far and see if it's been good or there's been a decline in terms of his vote. And there you have it. The only outlier in the blue, belt. He went independent in 2020 and won, with 48.1. That tells you that it was a keenly contested election between the MPP and he himself, and possibly the NDC. But this year, he wins handsomely with 67.7. Now, what is interesting is that it replicates almost the same. It's equivalent to what he actually got in the what happened in the 2016 or 2012 election, where the same number played out in the 2012 election, 67.8. We are having 67.7, just 0.1 percentage point different. That tells you that that region went back to where it belonged in terms of its popularity, MPP's popularity in that constituency. But they were very lucky not to have him go independent in this year's election. So you can see
because
that this is a massive
NDC
improvement for him.
Because the NDC percentage is almost getting to what Andrew Amakwesi got as an independent candidate, 48.1%.
Exactly.
Very, very close.
Now, I think, should we visit other constituencies?
Maybe quickly to Mamavi's Western region.
I think Sekondi has been, one of the biggest shocks, if you like, because nobody expected Ejapamesa to be knocked out the way that he has been in this particular elections. So a quick dash there, and then we'll go to Studio 997.
Yes.
Now, this is the most urban part of Western region, so it will be good to start from this side.
Okay.
And even with just 3 constituency results, you can see that green is dominating. Green is a color. I would have preferred, Chelsea,
Evaluator is green. It's still green. Jomoro.
It's still green.
Didn't get
but, Takrady remain blue. Takrady and Sekondi usually will vote in block. They are usually blue at the parliamentary level. But we are seeing a change this year. And Kwesi Mintim, for instance, voted green in this year's election. Let's try and understand how that constituency has been voting in previous election and see if there is any flop. There's actually a flip in this year's election, Mama. You can see that this is a strictly blue bloc constituency. For the first time since 1996, you have Kwesi Mintim voting green in this year's election. The NPP losing that election from last 4 years, 64.1. That was a massive majority in the 2020 parliamentary election. And we are seeing them trail with 42.9. If you do the math, that's more than 10 percentage points. What really happened? Is it because of the Galamsey activities that the president spoke about? We will be doing a postmortem of the results, but it will be interesting to go deep into constituencies like Kwesi Mintim and understand what really went wrong, why the blue or the green wave affected such very blue constituencies in the north, in the western part of the country, Mama V.
Kofi. So we'll come back for more analysis on our smart wall, but we want to quickly go to Studio 997. MFR Pao.
68 now. We have 68 out of 276. So we are filling the map. You're going to Studio 997, right?
Absolutely. So we'll give you an update of the new results that we have, as in declared results by the Electoral Commission from the coalition centers. But back to you, MFR Adeti, at Studio 997, and she's with Professor Abena Enimwa Yeboah-Ben.
Thank you so much, Mamavi and MFR and Kofi. We definitely are looking forward to that post-mortem because we really need to understand what has caused all of these casualties. Some of them we're sure that are quite obvious, but definitely need that post-mortem. But earlier, and if you're just joining us on the election headquarters, this very department, Joy 99.7, then we're just going to be telling you that we're joined by Professor Abena Enimwa Yeboah-Ben, Associate Professor at the University of Ghana Department of Communications Studies. Prof, thank you for joining, and thank you for that correction.
Thank you ever so much.
Prof, my colleagues were just attempting to want to go into that post-mortem, but I want your highlights and even lessons of the entire electoral process, especially this 2024. Is it giving you any nostalgic feeling at all? Has it taken you to any of the elections that you've experienced in Ghana so far?
Well, I mean, it reminds one of 2016, was it? Where the mood of the country did a similar trick, where we moved from the NDC to the NPP. It would seem as though we've gone round, full circle, and we've gotten to a point where Ghanaians are saying, enough, we're changing this game. And so a bit of a reminder of what 2016 looked like. Besides that, you ask about my highlights, so yay, female vice president. Female vice president on the horizon, that's good.
Yes.
I think that it's a good statement for Ghana. Women have always been involved in our politics, not at the highest level as would wish, but this one is a good statement, and congratulations to Prof. Nana Jane. Excited.
Prof, and so would you say that it's just a convention of Ghanaians voting in 8-year cycle, or this particular elections have really deeper lessons that even the NDC, despite Ghana voting green or choosing green, would have to be picking? Because you have just told us your lessons, but is it not just a convention of 8 years?
I think the idea of that convention comes to mind only to the extent that in some ways it reflects the idea that every 8 years the party in power manages to get Ghanaians fed up. And so it ties in with that logic of every 8 years Ghanaians will say bye-bye to you. But it's perhaps for me more the idea that when they stay in power for 2 terms, a bit of complacency, a bit of too many instances we can cite of what they've done that people are not excited about, all of those things come together and culminate into Ghanaians saying enough of this.
Prof, I know that you're not in the lecture hall, you're not lecturing communications, but let's talk about the communications of both political parties and even their presidential candidates. We know that John Dramani Mahama is a communicator, his background, but for the messages, the policies that he communicated to Ghanaians, which one of them do you think resonated very much with Ghanaians? Not just Ghanaians saying that, well, we're tired, but we're certain that Ghanaians went to the poll because they understood the policies because it was well communicated.
Well, this morning, since I heard that the NPP's candidate has conceded, the talk on radio, I've heard people interviewing the celebrants, supporters of the NDC who are jubilating on the street. And when they've been asked, why have we gotten here? How come the NDC has won? Why did you vote for the NDC? Why are you excited? They cite the 24-hour economy. So it would seem that the idea of the 24-hour economy settled in the minds of particularly the young people. Because if we go back to some of the polls that we had in the period leading to the election, employment was a big thing.
Yes.
Young people feel that their opportunities for exploiting economic benefits are very limited, narrow, and so they're looking for ways out. And the idea of the 24-hour economy seemed to have, as they would say, vibed with them. And so they've bought into it, it would seem to me. Does it mean the NDC doesn't have a competing logic to be pushing? I don't think so. I think that the NPP, I think they did a good job championing the idea of the free SHS. And education is also high on the agenda. If you go to the NCC polls, education is high on the agenda of Ghanaians. And so the idea of the free SHS perhaps resonated with people. But altogether, I would say that we're seeing things that arise out of the issues on the minds of people over and above what the candidates were saying. I would think. Remind ourselves also that Ghanaians also tend to vote with some preconceptions along ethnic lines, preconceptions along party support, bona fide. I am this member of this party or member of that party, and it is ingrained in them. So those ones come in, as well as people's realities, the fact that the the economy is harsh on them. Young people are not getting as many opportunities as they wish for themselves. And the education, as important as it is, there are questions in there as well. And I think that all these factors come together to culminate into perhaps NPP voters deciding to stay home.
Right.
And NDC voters being galvanized to go and vote.
I would have thought that after Dennis's press conference that, well, there are more polling centers this year. And this is why if you went to your polling center to vote and then there aren't any more queues or there aren't long queues, you shouldn't think that people are not coming out to vote. Prof, I will take your answer to it. Was that really voter apathy, or the number of polling centers really just minimized the queues, and then we're here thinking that people didn't show up to vote? Yes, we have data. Electoral Commission hasn't given us their figures and their numbers yet. But you agree to what people are saying, that people didn't go to the polls to vote?
Well, my polling station, there was no queuing there, but that's been the trend in the past election. So I can't say by what I saw in my polling station that it was a sign that there was voter apathy and people were staying at home. At the same time, I think that you've picked up enough vibe from people that the value is the same. NDC, MPP, not much is going to change. I'd rather just live my life. I've heard quite a number of people, particularly in the middle class, express that sentiment that it's neither here nor there, and so really, why bother to go to the polling station? And I say that, but also admit that in reality, it would seem to me that there are actually a lot more polling stations, and so the numbers are fewer that would be expected in any polling station. For that matter, we shouldn't expect to see long queues, but we wait for the Electoral Commission to tell us the numbers in terms of the voter turnout. That's when we really can be concrete to say that turnout was lower than 2020 or at par or higher than 2020. But I'm just speaking from the point of view of sentiments that I've heard people, particularly in the middle class, express that it doesn't seem the redemption is coming from either party. And so people are beginning to throw in the towel and sort of check out.
Did you think that the third forces, all the smaller parties, we've always known that this country's election is always a two-horse race, but we almost thought that all the other parties would have come together to create a bigger force, which would be a third force, which would then show in the turnout of all the results of the elections. But it looks like apart from blue turning green a lot, that the third force altogether didn't even make any significant impact in this year's election.
That is true. That is true. You would have expected that the energy we saw, at least when they've gone round, the so-called third force, when those parties or candidates have gone round, you saw them garnering some attention. But the results I've heard so far, it doesn't seem to be reflecting at the polls. So they have some introspection to do. Some time ago, somebody told us in Ghana that fear voters, you know. Ghanaian voters you have to fear, because not everything they tell you during the campaigning is what they intend to do when they enter the polling station. So not so much of a good show from the third force, but it goes back to the point I was making earlier. Quite a good chunk of people in Ghana will vote A or B. You know, there is some default level at which for a big number of our people, they know they're going to be voting. They will debate, they will contemplate, but when push comes to shove, I think that quite a good number of us were already decided even before the candidates were declared, which parties they were going to vote. And the third forces don't seem as yet to have secured the magic of the NDC and the MPP. For now, the NDC and the MPP seem to hold sway. It would seem they would continue to do that for quite a bit of time to come.
Okay, Prof, I would come back to you. When we come back, I'll go to my colleagues on Joy News, and then when we come back at some point in our conversation, two things I'd like to find out. Of course, it would be just 4 years for John Mahama, and what does that mean for the party? Well, then, can we just anticipate what 2028 would be looking like anyway? And then when we come back as well, do you think that the concession speech between now, from the time that the Vice President delivered that speech and we're not hearing from the Electoral Commission, is that one of the best way of communication during elections? But right now, though, we're still your election headquarters and bringing you the best of the coverage of this year's elections. I'm going back to MFR and Mamavi.
Thank you very much, MFA. And of course, we're here in the studios, my Mavi, and then of course, Kofi J. We will also take you to Studio 995. We are also taking reactions on the ground. We are told that NDC supporters are pouring out in their numbers following that concession speech by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. The NDC at its own press conference also is saying that tentatively they have 185 seats so far from our coalition, from the regional coalition centers, EC regional coalition centers. We have 68 out of 276 seats, and the NDC has 52. The NPP has 16. We've been hearing reactions from the party itself. Peter McMahon on My Joy Online has been saying that it's a sober reflection, time for sober reflection for the party. That and more we'll be getting. Bakofi, you would want to give us what the third party or the third force, MFR was making reference to that. How did they fare so far?
I mean, combined, if you look at what you have on the screen, it's just about 1.78%, right? Mm-hmm. That is not enough to reach the threshold that we expect them to get to possibly push the election to a run of more than 2.5%. They're still lingering around 1.78%, and you're asking yourself, all the talk on social media that we saw, why is it that they did not really make a huge impact in this year's election? But definitely, you will know that this is a wave, and when there's a wave, is a floating voters who definitely may want to vote for the third forces are the ones who caused this wave, and you could see that most of them have decided to vote green in this year's election.
Is it too early, perhaps, because 68 out of 276, or you say Agrobesoa? If you're not
We'll take a quick break. On that note, we'll be right back. Please do stay with us. This is your election headquarters.